Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Shelby Oaks, a spooky supernatural horror film from director Chris Stuckmann of Stuckmannized, the Chris Stuckmann review show on YouTube fame. He finally decided to take the plunge into making his own movie, kickstarted it and everything, and got the backing of Mike Flanagan, the Mike Flanagan. So needless to say, I went into this movie with some great expectations, and actually, I thought the movie was pretty good. The movie is about a woman named Mia who is searching for her sister, Riley, who used to host an old YouTube supernatural show where she used to go to haunted houses and investigate them and shit. It was called something like Paranormal Paranoids or something to that effect.
Paranormal Paranoids is what it was called. And it also was back in the day when 17,000 views was
a lot.
Holy shit.
That was a lot.
So many views.
Absolutely. You were the king of the hill
if
you got that many back then. But she one day went missing after investigating this ghost town in Ohio called Shelby Oaks. And the movie is about the sister trying to trace her sister's footsteps and find her again somewhere in the vicinity of Shelby Oaks. But that's about as far as we can go into the plot without getting into deep spoiler territory. I actually really enjoyed this movie. The first thing I really enjoyed was I liked its initial found footageness at the beginning.
Yeah, it starts out like a found footage true crime doc.
And then it shifts into being a standard movie, but the shift is super fucking seamless. I love the way they handled that.
Yeah, well, it helps that it's basically the found footage part is the cold open.
Yeah, it's what sets the
it's the prologue and the epilogue in the movie.
Yes, it's the prologue and the epilogue of the movie, and then the movie is just the movie. And I thought it did a really good job. The spooky atmosphere in the found footage section was pretty good. I liked when it transitioned into being a normal movie. It managed to keep that spooky atmosphere throughout. There's a couple moments where I felt like it kind of lost it a bit, but that's just because this movie's budgets, again, it was a kickstarted production. There's also some weird effects with, I'm not going to spoil what it's about, but there's a point in which there's some effects involving a dog. And it's very obvious to me that they filmed a dog on a green screen and then kind of put the dog in the scenario.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely some times when the CGI and the compositing are yeah, it looks fake as shit.
It's not seamless. There are some clear seams. That being said, I was invested enough in the story that I was able to look past those moments. And there are other moments throughout where the effects are seamless and they're just truly fucking creepy. Everything involving the window, and you'll know when you see the movie what I mean when I say the window, works 100%. Another thing I liked about this movie is there's a lot of cool background details. This is why I'm not surprised Mike Flanagan threw his weight behind this movie, because he likes to throw in a lot of background details into his productions too. There's a symbol that keeps coming back, this symbol involving two X's. If you look closely in the background of multiple shots, you'll see variations of that symbol just being made by things in the scene, which I think is really fucking cool, because it's one of those blink if you miss it things, but it adds to the atmosphere of these characters being haunted by something throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I really like is, unlike a lot of, shall we say, other YouTube turned filmmaker productions.
We watched one earlier this year that wasn't very good.
Yeah, House of Eden. That was not that great. But unlike House of Eden, this movie actually took advantage of its locations and sets.
Oh, yeah.
And created a lot of atmosphere.
I love that Shelby Oaks itself is a character in the movie.
Yeah.
This ghost town and this fairground that just looks like all of the fucking plants have taken it over.
Well, yeah, you get that. Well, you got to get that Silent Hill vibe, you know, where it's sort of oh, shit, there goes the alarm. Yep, the meat monster's coming after us now.
And the sets for the interiors and stuff with all the black mold on the walls. It's just so much texture.
Yeah. There's so much happening.
There's a lot of texture in this movie that I just really viscerally like while I'm watching the movie. It's just unfortunate that it's such a low budget that some of the green screen effects parts definitely show the seams in the movie when they do happen.
Yeah, but it's not so bad that you're well, this movie sucks.
I've seen way worse this year.
Oh yeah.
So
I've seen way worse this year on movies that were supposed to be big budget.
That's true.
Sometimes you got to give the movie a little leeway, is what we're saying.
But what makes this movie really work at the end of the day is that I actually found myself caring about Mia and her search for her sister. I thought the movie did a really good job of building up how much she cares about her sister, but also like building up the odds against her.
Yeah.
Including like the kind of background details of her relationship with her husband that's falling apart. I love this one scene where she's like trying to like detail out all of her theories about her sister, and her husband just thinks she's crazy. And in the background of the scene, you can see like all the failed artifacts of their marriage, like the baby carriage that's just filled with a bunch of stuff and being used for storage now and stuff like that. I love that attention to detail in this film, and I think that Chris Stuckmann did a pretty good job as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to move on to the spoiler section soon, because it's really hard to talk about this movie without talking about the second half, which is where the shit really hits the fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shelby Oaks. I actually think it's way better than most people are saying it is. I think it's a pretty solid movie.
It's a pretty solid flick. I was expecting to be disappointed.
I was expecting to.
Yeah.
Because as much as I was excited to see it, the word of mouth was not very good.
Yeah.
The word of
and
mouth
also
was not very
the
good.
like YouTuber turned filmmaker was like, ooh.
Okay, it's a question. Are you going to end up like House of Eden was earlier this year?
Yeah.
Or are you going to end up like Bring Her Back?
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal film. This is closer to Bring Her Back than House on Eden. But it's not quite Bring Her Back.
Oh, yeah. No.
This is a good freshman feature for Chris Stuckmann.
Yes.
And I kind of look forward to see if he gets a chance to make a sophomore film, how much he improves. Hopefully with a bigger budget and just, more resources.
Yeah. I was very impressed by the movie's creative balls.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen so many movies that are like have identical themes to this that didn't like have the balls to go nearly as far as this movie did.
Yes.
With that said, this movie is currently available on various streaming platforms to rent. Feel free to rent it and check it out for yourself. Pick your poison and enjoy. And with that said, let us move on to the spoilers for Shelby Oaks.
Demon!
It's a demon. It's a demon. There's a demon that has been haunting her sister for fucking years. And her sister's been having visions of this demon outside of her window while she sleeps every night for decades. Her investigation into Shelby Oaks ends up reawakening her connection to this demon. And she ends up getting kidnapped by a witch.
Yep.
A witch and a boy that is under her thrall. Well, a man now, but was a boy at one point. That she calls her son. One of my favorite scenes in the fucking movie, which is when the scene transitions from the found footage to the movie proper, and the fucking guy shows up at her doorstep and just shoots himself in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
She finally let me go. Bam.
Bam. Well, that was the moment I was like, I was actually interested in the movie.
That's when the movie hooked me.
Because I wasn't expecting a move that bold.
Yes. And what becomes clear over the course of this movie is that Mia, in the search for her sister, has caught the attention of that demon and is now essentially being summoned to find her sister. And signs of this happening throughout the movie are she starts having creepy visions of things outside her window. She starts being stalked by dogs, hellhounds, if you will, creepy dogs with glowing eyes in the darkness that always keep their distance but always seem like they're kind of hostile. But if she follows them, they will lead her to her next clue. Another big fucking sign that she's being summoned is the fact that the guy came to her doorstep, shot himself in the head, and left a tape that would like help her find her sister. So at the end of the movie, what ends up happening is she ends up coming across a house in Shelby Oaks. Again, it's a ghost town with just overgrown fucking plants over all the houses and the fucking fairgrounds that used to be there. She comes across a house in which a lady is living there.
Hello, lady.
She has been led there by a hellhound, or at least a dog, but it's a hellhound, trust me. And she finds her sister in the basement of this house after engaging with this woman who is clearly a witch.
Clearly a witch.
Clearly a goddamn witch.
Yeah, this is, in movie language, you're like, witch!
And the whole thing turns out to be some sort of a trap. Her sister and her end up getting led to the attic of this house in which a ritual is being completed, and the ritual is being done over a baby that her sister gave birth to.
Now, this is where I was initially disappointed with the movie.
Fair, yes, because you wanted a like actual demonic baby.
I wanted demon baby.
Yes,
yeah.
I totally understand.
I wanted cloven hooves. I wanted horns.
I get it.
You know?
I get it, but they're going more of a Damien route. Looks like a normal kid.
Not Rosemary's Baby.
You know, looks like a normal kid, but is the Antichrist. And the witch completes her ritual and commits suicide, not before actually like throwing them across the room with her witch powers, just to make it clear she is a witch.
Yeah.
The end of the movie involves her taking her sister back home and the baby back home, everything seeming like it's hunky-dory, except for the fact that they now have the Antichrist in their house. Mia does not seem to even fucking care about that, and her sister is still traumatized by everything that happens and wants to kill the baby. Because, first off, she was raped by a demon. You even see the demon in certain shots in this movie.
Yeah, there's a good shot of the demon right near the end of the movie.
Absolutely. There's a couple, actually.
Yeah.
Where you see all the shots of him, like, right outside the window and shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's a classic fucking, like, goat-headed demon, but with, like, some, like, extra fucking horns.
Yeah, extra horns, extra eyes.
And he's a beefcake.
Yeah.
You know, he's been hitting the gym. You gotta keep that demonic figure. So the sister was repeatedly raped by this demon, and we know it's repeatedly because they show us earlier in the movie that there's all these graves outside the house where a bunch of her failed babies were buried.
Yeah. Also, because of the fact that she ends up trying to kill the baby.
Yes.
That she might actually be smothering them. She might actually be repeatedly giving birth and killing them.
Which would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, it
make
would.
a lot of sense. Her sister, Mia, is now completely under the thrall of the demon. And it's obvious that this was part of, like, the witch's ritual at the end of the movie.
Yeah, because the ritual is supposed to protect them and the baby from, like, stuff.
But it's over the course of the movie, you are introduced to the heart and the sister's initials that they used to carve in trees back when they were kids.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, one of those is in the attic, and it's surrounded by a whole bunch of pictures of their whole family, including her husband that she's having the falling out with.
Yeah.
And when the witch completes her ritual, she smothers what's left of her blood that's pouring out of her wrists after she cuts them onto that symbol and onto the pictures of the whole family. The idea being, in my mind, is that A, it is putting them under the protection of the demon so that no harm will come from them as long as the Antichrist is raised right.
Right. But it's, I mean, definitely the baby more than anything else.
Yes, but it's also putting the sister under the thrall of the demon, right? Because at the end of the movie, she's got the demonic eyes.
Yeah.
You know. A fight happens between the sister that wants to kill the baby and the sister wants to keep the baby. Again, the movie introduced early on that sister wanted a child, and that's one of the things. That's why I love that background decoration of like the
empty crib filled with storage,
showing us that like they couldn't have the kid. They get in a fight. One of them gets knocked out the window. The one that wanted to kill the baby is the one that gets knocked out the window. And then she is just immediately hounded by a bunch of hellhounds and ripped apart.
Yeah, just eaten by these hellhounds.
In gory details. It's glorious. It's fucking great.
And the
I
dogs
loved it.
are like, rum, 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 beefaroni, rah, rah, rah. So in many ways, it's a family picture.
It's a family picture because the family is finally together at the end, even though one of them gets eaten by dogs.
Yeah. Well, you know, traditional values. You know, you gotta follow those traditional family values. Someone tries to eat the baby, they get thrown to the dogs. That's it.
She was just trying to smother him, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah. Oh, wait, did I say she was trying to eat the baby?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant just try to kill the baby. I could have dealt with some baby eating in this movie.
I mean, I would have loved to have seen the witch like eating some of the dead babies.
Yeah.
That'd have been great. Yeah. Oh man, one of the grossest things in this movie is when they go into the witch's house and she has like this table of food and it's all like rotted and shit.
Yeah.
That fucking like ham. You know, I thought the beginning was pretty good, you know, pretty solid, 7 out of 10 kind of, you know, spooky found footage thing. And when it got into the investigation, it started to show a little bit more seams, but it was still working. And there was some nice spooky moments, especially like with the window and like, the cracks and stuff. But then when it got into this last half, that's when I knew like I loved this movie.
Yeah.
Like this is where the movie really shined.
One of the things I did want to bring up that we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
This movie also has a cameo by Spooky Astronaut. So
Spooky Astronaut.
Hey.
Shout out to Spooky Astronauts.
Yeah,
it was really
follow
cool
her
to see
channel.
her.
Yeah.
Really cool to see her at the beginning of this movie. There's also a cameo from Keith David, who, you know, classes up the joint every time he shows up. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm also assuming Derek Mears was the demon.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, I think Shelby Oaks is pretty good. Go check it out for yourself. And with that said, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
You can find me here on YouTube every weekday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my channel, Count Jackula. Look it up, and I'll see you there.
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on various social media platforms, but these days I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. That way, you can help us out. And, even $1 a month can go a long way for the record, and we could definitely use those dollars these days.
Do I hear $1? Do I hear $5? Do I hear $10? Do I hear $20?
Let's just say in the current economy, money is tight, so I understand if you can't, but also understand that's why we could probably use more dollars.
Yeah.
So if you can, feel free. And if you made it this far into the video, then feel free to comment below. And if you do comment below, use the hashtag SpookyAstronaut and go check out her channel, which I will link to in the description below. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and we'll catch y'all later.